It's not rocket science. Any single person has the ability to do this. And no, you don't need to have millions and millions of dollars to get started. You just simply need to implement the principles. And that's what the infinite banking concept is all about, is simply leveraging these principles, having a simple foundation of financial strategy that what it does is it forces you to save before you invest, and then you utilize this saving storage vehicle to go out and buy leverageable assets. You allow those assets to grow while borrowing and collateralizing them to create more opportunity for your business. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, I want to talk to you about how the rich avoid paying taxes. Now, there's a lot of conversation out there about the fact that people like Warren Buffett pay less in taxes than his executive assistant pays. People are up in arms about that. I remember at the last presidential election, there was a lot of talk, I guess probably the previous presidential election actually as well. There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump and the fact that he didn't pay his fair share of taxes. You get wealthy people like this, and whether it's through taxes or business. I actually just watched a video earlier today about Mark Cuban from Shark Tank talking about the fact that when you utilize the tax code properly and when you leverage businesses and certain assets, how it actually makes sense that wealthy people are not paying taxes. And I know that's probably got some people up in arms, just freaking out about the fact that there's no way, no how that it makes sense that any people in those positions should be able to avoid paying higher taxes. But I guess I'm gonna just straight up say I think it totally makes sense, and I think it's totally fair, and I think the people that are producing the most in this world, we can ridicule Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Elon Musk's and the Mark Cubans of the world for not having to pay a lot of taxes, or we can leverage tax code to our advantage and learn how to do what they're doing. But on top of that, what it really comes down to is those guys are the people that are creating literally millions of jobs. And so I think it's ironic when people say it's not fair. People want to go buy Teslas, that are created by the literally over 70,000 jobs that Tesla has created, and then they want to ridicule everything. They want to go support Tesla, but then they want to shred them at the same time. And so I think that's kind of hypocrisy at its finest. However, for this video, we're not going to go too far down that rabbit hole. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how the rich actually avoid paying taxes. So let's get into this. All right, so what I did here is I have a little whiteboard sketch behind me that I went through, and I kind of mapped out how wealthy people buy their assets, how they invest, what the flow of their money is, and how they actually avoid paying taxes or minimize their taxes as much as possible. So let me show you how. So here's what they do. When we look at this, a wealthy person goes out and they make money. Now, we all have to go through this. We go through this phase of the earning phase. I call it the addition phase. We gotta work, it's active income, we gotta earn. Now, eventually what happens, this becomes like a big enough number, and if you save, the biggest mistake, and I wanna say this, the biggest mistake that people make, and the reason they don't get to the status of these people that are uber wealthy, is because they earn money and then they try to invest it too soon, right? And then what happens is, because they don't have control of that money, and because they take on market risk too soon before they actually have the financial stability to go take risk, that's speculative. Now, can you go this direction and make it work? Yes, but it's not a predictable result. That's the thing to understand. So I'm always interested in teaching people predictable paths to success. And so what we have here is they earn money, and what they do is they invest in leverageable assets. Now, what's a leverageable asset? It can be a business. It could be real estate. It could be anything that you can leverage, but these are my two favorite things. Anything you can leverage and take, you can leverage the value of this against it. So here's an example. What they do is, I guess I'll explain it this way. So they leverage these assets, and what they want to do is they want to allow these assets to grow. But here's the deal. If typically what most people do is they buy assets and they grow, and as those assets grow, they have to pay taxes and capital gains, or they sell those assets, or they're trading, or they're whatever. And when they do that, there are taxes when they cash out or benefit from these assets. So instead of that, what they will do is a wealthy person, just as an example here, they go buy a house. Let's say Jeff Bezos goes and buys a $50 million house, right? Jeff Bezos buys a $50 million house. And so when he goes and buys that house, what he does is he doesn't get a mortgage for that house, he pays cash, right? And so that cash is an asset. Now that asset is gonna go up in value over time, right? But here's the beautiful part. Because he doesn't get mortgage deductions on that, what he does is he goes and he pays cash for it. And then what he does is he goes and he gets a loan collateralizing the value of this house, using his house to guarantee the loan, because he just looks at the house as an asset, right? He's not worried about anything else. So he takes a loan against that asset, against the value of that house. That's what that is all about, right? And so because he's got the loan, this loan is going to be able to fund his lifestyle, and it's going to be able to fund his business, right? So now what happened is he's got no income because he never took revenue out of his business, or his real estate in this situation. And so the value of them are going to continue to go up, but he's going to be able to take that money, he's going to be able to invest it in business, and now the extra investments that he makes are tax deductible. So he's got no income, yet he's got the lifestyle funds, he's got the tax deductible nature of any interest that he does pay is going to be tax deductible, and because he's using it to invest more in business, that's going to be tax deductible as well. And so this is how people like Donald Trump are able to go out, earn a ton of money, have the assets and their net worth be worth billions of dollars, yet when it comes down to it, they're paying less in taxes than their assistants. It's not rocket science. Any single person has the ability to do this. And no, you don't need to have millions and millions of dollars to get started. You just simply need to implement the principles. And that's what the infinite banking concept is all about, is simply leveraging these principles, having a simple foundation of financial strategy that what it does is it forces you to save before you invest, and then you utilize this saving storage vehicle to go out and buy leverageable assets. You allow those assets to grow while borrowing and collateralizing them to create more opportunity for your business. This is what I always tell people. I know there's a lot of clickbait out there with people being like, invest like the wealthy do and do this and do that. But the bottom line is, this is what we're talking about. This is what everybody's talking about. Even if it's not communicated in this way, or maybe they make it into something that it's not. But this is as simple as it needs to be. This is as complicated as it gets. And I encourage everybody to really think about what you could do to implement this in your life, even if it's on a small scale. But remember, the only way to do it is to save before you invest, but save with the intent to invest. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I do my best to engage with every single comment. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell, that way you get notified every time I launch a new video. Until next video, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.